Making this video now mainly for myself to get some things off my chest and to share with family and friends and whoever else may resonate. You stick around, you might find some inspiration. I don't know what's going to come up really, but I just had the spontaneous feeling to share this video. For a while I've been having a feeling to do something more kind of on the topic of last year and the year of the snake. So this whole year of the snake has been so interesting, and for me it started a little bit earlier than the year of the snake, like when I had that kind of big tower moment with the business that I'd put up, like partnership and breakup, separation and things like that. So I feel since the awakening for me, it's been very interesting. I just got to get some shit off my chest. It's been a 23-year initiation since San Francisco in 2002 when I had, it was previous to that as well, these dramatic events and crazy ass shit that was happening in my life then. And it seems that from that initiation of the source and the void and everything that happened. It's a long story. I'm not going to go into that here, but vanishing into the void and then having that first shift, the awakening. Because when we have this awakening, or if you are experiencing an awakening experience, what is happening is that we're becoming consciously aware of more of the divine elements that are here. They're always here. It's just that they are unconscious reference points. And then when we experience an awakening, something triggers in our lives and we awaken to more of what is here. We awaken to more of the divine elements at play. And there's at least 12 divine elements. So the first awakening experience that I had in 2002, and then that's kind of ignited this opening process, because that's truly what it is. It's an opening to more of what is here, which includes the negative spin and karmic stuff and burning of some karmic shit and your psychological and mental and emotional and body realm, like all the different realms. We don't have to go into that all in detail, but just to give a little bit of a kind of insight into the different levels that we are actually operating on and what is unfolding here. That everything has to be met on each and every plane. And in a sense, you only ever get what you are like ready for, what your soul is ready for. The ego might shake when the truth, or like you may be shaking because the truth is now you're stabilizing at a higher state of consciousness. But anyways, just to come more in my own personal kind of getting off my chest, there's just been so much shit going on, especially in the year of the snake. And there's been a lot of blessings in disguise. And every day I look at, what am I grateful for? What do I actually have that I'm grateful for? And train the brain to look for what's right. But after this breakup and after the business also, and then starting over with the business and everything, and then I had these plans I want to move away, right? Because I ended up with our home and stuff, so I was like, okay, but that's perfect opportunity for me to just move away. And then what happened then a year ago now is exactly that. Unexpected things started to roll in from this tower moment. So first I got the injury in that eye, a year ago. Like, I had some huge allergic reaction. It was intense. But prior to that already, there's something with the lens, that because I've put in a lens a long time ago. That lens started to fall down. And then with the allergic reaction, then I injured it. And then the whole lens fell back on the backside, inside of the eye. So it was completely off. And then it was just suddenly became completely blurry in that eye. And it was a process to even get a eye doctor to actually check that out. Took some while, took some convincing, don't know what the hell was going on there. And then finally I got kind of the help I needed, the verdict, and so this is not good news. It's completely dangling and has fallen back. So I have to go to another city or get an appointment in another city for a special surgeon because I need to have a vitrectomy. So I got a lot of emotions with that. Thank God for Ho'oponopono and the way of this living, but still that brought up a lot of inner child stuff because of childhood being a lot in hospitals and stuff. And that felt like a big thing, like because they needed obviously to do a much more advanced procedure, including putting like in a needle. I don't want to say stab, but put in a needle in the eye and also cut open so that they can get the needle eye. And it was all kinds of things anyways that it brought up some. It's interesting what it triggered. Like again, so how if and when you approach everything as Ho'oponopono, everything becomes an opportunity to do the cleaning, the blessing, the Ho'oponopono, to correct an error. And then so it's interesting that these events triggered then opportunity for me to clear out the subconscious from childhood memories. Thank you. Not always easy, so that was humbling. But it's interesting that it was a long waiting time, and during that time I was already waiting for weeks or months. Then I got a reaction, and then the same thing happened in the other eye, but that was more urgent. So now I had both eyes completely blurry. So really interesting, where I was so determined on moving away from this country to a new country, to whatever my dream has been, to live in by the sea, sun and warm and everything, nature. Now I'm being literally blurred, my vision. Like I'm not seeing where I'm going, not only spiritually or mentally, but also even physically. But that one was more urgent, so it also, that lens kind of dropped to the side, so I had to do a surgery, and again, so I made surgery, so then that was much quicker because I had to do it, because it was more risky. It was an easier procedure, but it was more risky. So I did that. I got that sorted, and then still waiting for this eye, the bigger surgery operation. And then while I'm doing this, I'm also going through some pretty intense stuff with the childhood thing that I've been, for the 14 years, I've been holistically diving into conscious health and well-being and wellness, and figuring out like, okay, healing the gut will heal my life, and I've seen some amazing results with that. I've, for example, had stage 3 asthma, which I've cured, basically 99% cured, which they said that you will have this most likely for your entire life, but I was able to cure that. I mean, remission, or whatever you want to call it. I don't use the medicines anymore that I needed before, because it's beautiful now. And then going with the skin, because I've been dealing with eczema skin and atopic dermatitis diagnosis stage of 2, I took this conscious health thing into my own, took charge of my own health, for real. Like before I was kind of dabbling a bit, but now for the past 13, 14 years I've been really going into it deeper and deeper, right? And released and let go of so many things just to go completely into different protocols, cleanses, detoxes, you name it, and studying with the best of the best, what I feel is the best of the best anyways. And it's been so humbling process, and so much I've learned and absorbed, but still I wouldn't really get there, like to the other side. It would still be something and I'll be back. And then more pieces of the puzzle came in now. When I was forced to stay here because of the eyes, the doctor said, we don't recommend that you're going to move anywhere right now. Wait until you've sorted your eyes out. Obviously, quite challenging, considering it has also affected everything else in my life situation, the whole year of the snake. And then I also discovered this whole detox in the middle of doing these surgeries. I finally, after more than half a year of waiting, I finally got to do the surgery, and it was a big process. But everything went well. Everything was really blessed. It was like, but afterwards was a second challenge to like fully heal, the aftercare and the process of all the different things with antibiotics and cortisons and drops and everything. And in the midst of this, I had to do some parasite detox. I also had to do that too, because that came into our awareness that was something that I was dealing with. So I did that right before the surgery and actually right after the surgery. So there's been some huge challenges, like with the body, like for sure. Wow, what a year! The year of the snake. Again, finding blessings in disguise, and there's been so much growth, and it's been so character building. Like truly looking at this character. What does these testing times do to you? You know, and I think we can all appreciate and going through these kind of things. And some of us go through this, what people call like the hero's journey or whatever. But you know, it's like, wow, it can be really challenging to the limit, and then it builds that character also. It's like it's like the universe, the spirit, the life, whatever you want to call, the highest pure consciousness and source. It's like it's interested in who you are becoming, right? So you could be blessed and you receive everything that you ever wanted, but now, right now, life is more interested in who you are becoming as a character, you know, and for the soul's evolution. So these kind of things can happen, and also we're burning off data, karmic data, like karma stuff, whatever. Anything that's part of your soul's curriculum and your life path curriculum, that's definitely going to come. So that we can truly experience the Tower card where everything crumbles, and the Death card where it's a rebirth. Like I often talk about this in meditation, that it's actually a death and rebirth in every moment, with every breath and every heartbeat. That's where we want to be with this. It's a constant inner practice, of course. Wow, I just wanted to document this shit because it's been a lot, and sometimes you just kind of, the mind and body is catching up, and you're like on a spiritual level and soul level and consciousness level, you're already like, I'm already so there in the energy of it, but then the mind and body is catching up and syncing, right? Because that's what happens. Like the soul is always on track, but what happens is that the mind and body can go out of sync. So this alignment has to happen again, and we might fall so many times, but just as long as we don't give up, eventually we'll stand firmer and more grounded, and we keep standing and standing and standing. So then after all the surgeries, after all of that said and done, then still was dealing so much with the skin issues, even if I did that parasite cleanse, which was really also another intense thing. I don't want to go into it, but just to give this note to self that was a major piece of the puzzle as well, that it caused a lot of issues. Because it's layers, right? So when you're healing the body, you're looking at the different layers. You're looking at healing. What is the microbial, right? Like, so any overgrowth, yeasts, fungi, microbes, bacteria, any imbalances in the gut, you want to look at that. But then you also want to look at detox of heavy metals. You got to get heavy metals out of your system. So remove all the excesses and then put back what's missing, like to nourish and nurture your body so that it's holistic, right? And then the parasite was one thing, so clearing the parasite. But then it was like, I've done all of this, and I've done for years on end, and still I'm not coming over to the other side where the skin starts to fully calm down. What is actually up? And then it just clicked. It just came from spirit, from my higher future self. Topical steroids. And I've done this before, where I realized that I need to quit them full on, but I didn't realize the extent of having used topical steroids and internal steroids, meaning cortisone. I have used cortisone, or they have put also cortisone since I was a kid, right? Since I was the age of 2, on and off, I've been on cortisone. And I didn't realize that is a whole world in itself called TSW, topical steroid withdrawal, and the side effects of that, it didn't fully click to me until now, that was already in my face, or so self-evident, so obvious, literally on my face, that's what the body is struggling with. I've done all the cleanses, I've done all the protocols, and of course it's a way of life. It's like I love this holistic lifestyle. But sometimes I've been pushing it too much, too extreme, right? So it's, again, you gotta like have this, it's a nervous system thing too, right? To rest and recover, and so the body finds homeostasis. But I had still been relying on cortisone, and then when I quit cortisone, I thought it was something else in my system that was causing the flare-ups. But it wasn't. Every time I started to stop using the cortisone a little bit, then the flare-ups happened. But I didn't connect the link that the flare-ups are not happening because I'm dealing with more microbes or other stuff. I've done enough work there, and of course to keep that in check. But the flare-ups are actually neurological, like it's nervous system thing. It's actually topical steroid withdrawal. And then I opened a whole world of that, and now I realize that this is it. Literally shedding the skin in the year of the snake. Because now with the topical steroid withdrawal, that's opened a huge process for me. But I feel and know it now that was the missing piece of the puzzle. That was the click, that was the link, that was what I was looking for. And now I truly understood it, because I had done it before where I quit and I went like 3 months without it. But then something else happened, shit hit the fan, whatever. And I ended up in hospital that time too with hyperthyroid, life-threatening shit. But anyways, I survived that, thank God, bless all that, back to its origin. I'm just saying, like, I've been through so much shit. Like, I know a lot of people have. I mean, it's all relative, right? But I've just realized sometimes I just catch up, and it just gets me really, like, tearful and stuff, because I'm like, wow, there's been so many tower moments in my life where everything's crumbling and I'm starting over again. And there's been so many different things dealing with complex PTSD and healing that, using all these different healing modalities. But that's also been a cyclical process, not like a linear. And I didn't even realize, again, the full extent, like completely realized that I've actually been dealing with complex PTSD because of the lifestyle that I had when I was a youngster, and what I was involved with, and what I've seen and done, and all kinds of shit. But the awakening, the divine intervention saved my life, but that just simply opened, that I will say, it's an opening process, the huge process of healing and purification, and an initiation, a supernatural training, a supernatural mystic initiation. Wow. I just want to say, it's such a freaking humbling process. It's so... what? So, just wanted to document all of this, and then now I've been 3 months, I'm going strong with no cortisone, and it has been fucking not easy. It's been hell some days. Like, it's, again, some days can be really good, but in the beginning it was crazy, the shit that happened with the skin. Think of a year of the snake and shedding, like all the weeping, the oozing, the burning. This, like somebody said, like taking showers, like pouring acid on the skin, all kinds of stuff, because it's been so damaged. It's the biggest organ, and it's been so damaged by the topical steroids. So it's affected neurology, it's affected the immune system, it's affected everything. And now it's a rebuilding of a completely new organ. Learning and the immune system being activated, learning to find homeostasis on its own. It's a broad topic, but TSW is a real thing, and it's fucking intense. And what it does to your psyche. And then I've gone through all of these things in 1 year, in the year of the snake, from financially and relational breakups and starting over, and the eyes, right, completely blurry. Like, it was completely blurry there for a while, so I was almost blind, right? And then And then the skin, the intensity of the allergic reactions and the skin issue, and now that was the topical steroid mostly. To now going through topical steroid withdrawal, and now finally getting the glasses. It's been a year. It's been a year since I've actually see how you're supposed to see. Of course, with the help of glasses, but still, like, hallelujah. Like, what now? It's like everything feels so big and huge, and I'm like getting used to this experience of actually seeing clearly. Wow. And I survived. I survived all of this shit. And it's just like every day is such a gift. It does humble you. It builds the character. I'm a human, mass human, whatever, but also conscious, spiritually ignited, and free in the same time. Accessing the supernatural states and everything, but completely in this human experience and process. A human form and humbling as fuck kind of a thing. But it inspires me, and I'm so grateful to them for every moment, every breath, and every day waking up, looking at what is the gift of life. What do I have that I'm grateful for? I could be focused on what's missing and what's lacking. It's here, and there's been a lot. And yet, I can bless that. I can acknowledge it. I don't have to bypass or gaslight myself. I can feel all the shit that I need to feel and then let it go, return everything to zero, and be free. And then look at, okay, what's the inspiration? What's the creation? How can I grow from this? How can I evolve from this? Who am I truly, and why am I here? What does this all do to me? How is this the best thing that could ever have happened to me, even if it's fucked up? How could all these things happen, and why me? But then, okay, why means resistance. Why means I'm lacking light. So, and I know how to consciously and deliberately turn the light on. And when I turn the light on, it's clear, like, okay, this is who I am, this is why I'm here. Let's keep going. Let's go deeper. Let's truly ignite and be this version of me that is the true version of me, and hold this identity, because this is who I truly am, and this everything else is the mind body catching up. Everything else is the reality catching up to who I am, and that I'm anchoring this. So, it's like I usually say, I invoke the power of divine love to work through me here and now, to anchor as the enlightened awareness that I am, that we are. Clean, clear, and transmute any and all misqualified energy, data, and information, and bless it all back to its origin. Setting my subconscious to fully let go now and keep blessing and clinging as Ho'oponopono to manifest my most fulfilling reality for the highest good of all, for the liberation of all. How can I be of service to others, to my own healing, my own evolution, my own enlightenment? Setting my intention for the fullness of love, light, love to take me over completely and lead the way. I link up to my higher future self, because I am my higher future self. I am my highest self. I remember who I am. I am my highest self.